I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Welcome back to the Quarter Mile Podcast, gang. This is the weirdest episode we've done yet. We are talking about Redline. We haven't even started. I just want you all to know that here's the situation. None of you driving or watching us on YouTube or whatever care about this, but I feel like you need to know. Our regular co-host CJ is currently dealing with some car stuff, and she's like in line, and she said there's an old man in front of her taking forever. So she was like, "Go ahead and start the episode because we're filming another one after this." So that brings me to part A, which is we have a wonderful guest, Andre Churchwell. What's up, Andre? How are you doing?
Hey, I didn't have car stuff. My life was I got here super fast.
His life is super easy. He got here like a Fast and Furious movie. Okay, so our guest is Andre, and we'll get to hear more from him in a second here. But here's what makes this episode even better. Today we are reviewing the movie Redline. I almost want to say we're reviewing the movie's Redline because did you know there is the 2007 or whatever, what year is it? Yeah.
They know.
2007 movie that we're actually, you came here to watch a review on. That's a little Fast and Furious ripoff. But there's also an animated movie. Here's the situation. My sub-in co-host now, I have watched two different Redlines.
You knew this is eventuality.
And
actually, this is great.
Our other host isn't here, so we're gonna try a podcast where half of us has seen the movie that we're reviewing, and we're gonna see how it goes. But before we get into everything Redline related, I am excited to have Andre Churchwell. Has been a friend of mine, a comedy friend honestly, if you think about it, we've known each other for over a decade.
Yeah, I knew you when you were a different name. You were Andrew?
Yeah, that's true. My real human name is Andrew Davis, and and I realized sometime into comedy that Drew Davis alliterates better and sounds better on stage. So like in my mind, I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but like if Drew Davis sounds like someone who's going to tell you jokes, Andrew Davis sounds like that's the guy you go to like file your taxes.
Oh, I was literally thinking,
yeah.
But dude.
So yeah, so I anyway, but
I'll always be Andrew Davis.
You can you and my mother and other people can absolutely still call me Andrew Davis. It's totally fine. Let's talk about Andre. This is our Quarter Mile Podcast tradition. We love to get to know you as a guest / co-host. In telling us about you, we also want to hear your relationship with the Fast and Furious.
My sister thought Paul Walker was hot, so I was forced to watch the first movie, sort of. And then it was years later when I listened to a podcast called the Giant Bomb Podcast, a video game podcast.
Love it.
That went off on this huge, almost 2-hour tangent explaining why the Fast and Furious franchise is the wildest, out of sync, out of contingency with their own movies.
Yeah, no argument.
Franchise in Hollywood history. And I was
100%.
like, I'll look into this. And I watched Tokyo Drift. I started there, and then I watched Fast 5.
Solid. It's the Italian job with Fast and Furious.
Saw good reviews, and it's like, no, this is like a wrestling match. This is one guy on the cover versus other guy on the cover. Let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah.
It's not even, hey, I don't have to know whose baby is this or anything. Let's just have at it. And then what was it? I think I skipped 6. 6 with the planes.
Yep, 6 has
with the planes.
Yeah, 6 has the plane.
And 7 was Make Me Cry.
That the ending, it will make every grown man cry.
And it was the same year The Hobbit came out, and it was like more emotional than the frickin' Peter Jackson thing I was waiting for.
Yeah, when COVID happened and we were all shut down. And that was about the same time that Fast 9 came out. So I did my usual Fast and Furious marathon before, hitting. And It sounds, yeah, I do. Every time there's a new Fast and Furious, I'll watch all the movies except for Hobbs and Shaw, which, speaking of which, we're reviewing in a couple episodes.
And Bandoleros.
Yeah, we've already talked about it.
Do you do that?
We did that one.
Run?
Yeah. We had a. I don't do it in my run. I actually just saw it for this first time. What a wonderful movie! And
he directed it.
Yeah, but is the culture of the Dominican Republic so well, which is not something I knew. If go back, Andre and everyone else, go back and listen to our episode review of Los Bandoleros. It's the fourth one in season 2, because when you listen to it, I go into it talking to CJ and Dustin, our guest, with the attitude of this wasn't that good of a movie. And then when they explained to me the culture behind it all, as people who know more about Dominican Republic culture than I do,
Dude.
it changed my mind completely. It's a great
Dirty
movie.
secret about Vin Diesel is he's a great, like his short that he made where he talked
Yeah.
about how he's like a mixed actor and he can't get roles and like he had to come up with a role for himself in the short.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Listen, I think, especially back in the time when Los Bandoleros came out, he does have a gift for directing and a real way to tap into the heart of the people that are in his, just people groups that are in his movies. I do think at some point, maybe between Fast 5 and Fast 8, maybe ego came in. And like, when you watch the Fast and Furious movies, it does kind of become like the Dieselverse.
Oh.
And I think that gets, in my opinion, is that gets in the way of the really good gift of directing that he's shown in earlier stuff.
It's almost like he stopped doing other movies that weren't like $1 billion franchise.
Yeah, crazy, right? But to be fair, if I had the opportunity to do that, I would do that as well. So
he'll come around.
He'll come around. He'll get it. He'll listen to this podcast and we'll remind him of his.
He'll start trying.
And so, well, let's talk about. Should we talk about Redline?
Oh yeah. Then I cried, and then I watched the Fate the Furious, and then I watched the cliffhanger one, and then that let me down.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I also know that it's okay to be let down by Fast and Furious sometimes.
Yes.
Because that from first to second to this whole thing is about getting the bumps in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's okay as long as I'm with the family.
Everyone who's ever like, oh, they're so dumb. They don't make any sense. They
haven't watched it.
It's like, as a fan, we're like, and that's what makes it awesome.
Who cares that they're dumb?
Yeah, they are doing what they've promised to do.
My ex was like, I can't watch these movies because I don't know anything about. I'm not into cars.
You don't have to.
This isn't about
right. It helps in the first 3. They do kind of hold on to some car culture, but honestly, by 4, it's very tertiary.
It's like watching Law and Order because I want to be a lawyer.
So, yeah, absolutely. Or Scrubs because I want to be a doctor. That's an out there. That is a long.
No, dude. Scrubs is you.
That was a great show. Anyways, the reason we're covering Redline in our Fast and Furious adjacent season 2 is because actually when the Fast and the Furious came out, Redline was one of the titles that they were going with. This movie, in addition to having a title that Fast and Furious almost had, its other title was Race Wars, which thank God they didn't go with.
No, they should have been Race Wars. We would be up to like Race Wars 9 now, dude.
I don't know about that. I think that would have.
That's what the title would be in Japan.
It would be so interesting to see. Anyway, so this movie has the same title as Fast Furious almost had, but also you can't look at this movie and not think that they were riding off the coattails. It's a Fast and Furious knockoff.
This should have been called Race Wars.
This I would have actually still could have fit. And another little side note about this movie, and I'm going to give a plug for next week's episode. We are actually doing a 2-parter on Redline. This is Redline Part 1. We will have a Redline Part 2. It's going to be a special bonus episode. And I don't want to give all the tricks away to you all listening or watching. We do have a very special surprise and a very special thing that we're doing in that episode. And the reason we're even covering this movie is actually because of the next episode. And I can't say any more, otherwise I'll give a massive spoiler. But all this to say, if you're currently listening to Redline Part 1, stay tuned for Part 2 and check it out. And especially if you're a longtime fan, a year-long fan of this podcast, then you'll really appreciate what we're doing next week. But we're not on next week. We are on this week. So here's some just fun facts about this movie. It came out in 2007. Its budget was $26 million, and it only made $8.2 million.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's
for that time.
That is all. And when you look at the movie, it doesn't. Okay, my expectations have been changed because I was gonna say it doesn't look like a $26 million movie, but I recently learned when we reviewed Superfast that was a $20 million movie. So maybe it does. Maybe it does look
super fast. That is not.
No, it is not. I'm telling myself that they paid the actors really well. So speaking of actors, here's the cast of Redline, at least the Redline that I watched, not the Redline that Andre watched. And I'm going to mispronounce at least our main star's name, Nadia Bajorlin. who played Natasha. Here's the thing about Nadia, the things that she's known for. She was in one episode of NCIS as attractive wife.
As she should.
Yep. I think she could pull off that role very well. But if you're a big Nadia Jorlin fan, Nadia head, you'll know her from Days of Her Life, which she was in 1,567 episodes.
Not a lightweight.
Not a lightweight. So that was her. That must have been her real moneymaker. Also in this movie, we have Nathan Phillips, who played Carlo, who you might know from Snakes on a Plane. Probably other stuff, but that's to me, that's the movie that stuck out. Eddie Griffin played Infamous, and he was my favorite. And the first thing I think of when I think of Eddie Griffin is Undercover Brother. And I learned earlier before we started filming for today that there's a sequel that Andre told me about Undercover Brother, and I had no idea that existed.
Direct to streaming with the guy from Black Dynamite.
Does it do the first one
Michael
justice?
J. White. He's playing a trying to be funny Black Dynamite.
Oh.
Have you seen Black Dynamite?
I haven't seen Black Dynamite.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm so sorry.
I'm jealous. The first, when you know what Black Dynamite is, you're like in it, but when you watch it's like kind of Rocky Horror Picture Show, but like done well.
Okay.
I don't even know what I'm saying. But Black Dynamite, first time watching, is a feast.
I can't wait. Anyway, so we also had Angus McFadden as Michael, and he might have had the best performance in this movie, which I know matters not at all to you, but
not surprising. He's one of my favorite actors.
He definitely, yeah.
I mean, I can't list like 3 movies he's in. Heroes of Virtue, Braveheart, Redline.
He must have. I don't know what he was doing to be in this movie, but he did great. And then lastly, we had Tim Matheson as Jerry, and he seemed like a big name for this movie. Like he seemed. But
Animal House is back.
Yeah, so this is a fun movie. When I started watching it, I was like, "This is such a dumb, poorly made movie," but they got me. I got soaked into their universe, and then by the end, I was actually like, "What's gonna happen?" And we'll talk about that later.
You'd watch it again?
Might. Here's the only way I'd watch it again. If I was with like a friend who hadn't seen it. I was like, let's watch Redline together.
That's how I am with Human Centipede, dude.
Once you know the plot, I don't feel like its rewatch value has a lot. But to experience
Human Centipede too,
to experience it with someone else, that's where the fun is. Well, those of you who are regulars, we do have a quarter-mile tradition, which is the guest, or in this case, guest co-host. You're the first ever, by the way, guest co-host.
Yeah, well,
How exciting is that?
It's not like someone put sugar in their tank or anything. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not like the vandalism and all that made it happen. So we'll check on CJ after this episode. Or maybe Andre's the new season 2 and beyond co-host for the Quarter Mile podcast. He took it over. Anyway, it is a tradition for our guests to read the AI plot summary. This movie didn't lend itself to a lot of gimmicks where I could tell the AI to do. I tried to do read it from the perspective of Eddie Griffin, and it did not do it justice. So this is just a fun, upbeat, hopefully with jokes.
I have that one. Can you?
I was like, I'm not going to have anyone read this. But yeah, I'll try to remake it and send it to you. So Andre, the floor is yours for our AI plot summary for Redline.
Our story kicks off with Natasha Martin, a rock star mechanic and race car driver, period. Natasha is the kind of person who treats high-speed chases like Sunday drives. I'm still recovering from that first sentence. When she's not tuning up cars, she's tuning out common sense behind the wheel. Enter Carlos, her suave, mysterious love interest with a penchant for speed and secrets. They're quickly roped into the underground racing world by none other than the shady billionaire Jerry Brecken. Jerry's got money to burn and a taste for illegal, high-stakes street racing. The stakes get wild when Jerry and his equally unscrupulous pals, Michael and Marcus, those guys, decide to pit Natasha and Carlo against the creme de la creme of daredevil drivers and cross-country, no-holds-barred race. The prize? A mountain of cash and ultimate bragging rights. What follows is a whirlwind of screeching tires, fiery crashes, and heart-pounding near misses. Our heroes navigate treacherous terrains, dodge cunning rivals, and deal with backstabbing twists at every turn. Tasha's mechanical genius comes in clutch more times than a car at Daytona. Hey, I think it's funny. While Carlos' charm and quick thinking keep them one step ahead of disaster. The grand finale. Our daring duo faces off against their arch nemesis in a hair-raising race to the finish line. It's an all-out showdown. Leaves your pulse racing and your popcorn flying. Redline isn't just a movie. It's a madcap joyride where the only thing faster than the cars is the pace at which you'll be entertained. Hey, so strap in. Strap in? Okay. So strap in and enjoy the ride. Because with Redline, all gas, no brake.
That was perfect. Thank you so much,
Sure.
Andre, for that. I hope that review made you think, man, I really want to go watch this movie.
Do you like it when it has like the miss stuff in it and the periods in the middle of sentences? I
think it's
I
fun.
was hoping for more.
Most people don't acknowledge it when I do. I like
I was hoping for
that AI
the
tries
whole
to
thing
do it.
just disintegrates in my hand.
And sometimes with other movies, it's so clear that it has no idea what the plot is.
Yeah.
But then again,
Content cannot be reviewed.
Yeah, then again, I am judging a computer for writing a review on a movie that I'm not writing. In this episode, we didn't do fast fan feedback. We decided to do my new favorite segment of the show, which is bad movie reviews. So, of course, this movie does have good, nice movie reviews, but I brought out a few bad movie reviews that I'd like to read to y'all. So here's the first one. It says, bunch of B-list actors making our lives shorter by watching their pathetic attempts to act and entertain. If I could convey one message to the cast, it would be this: grow up. Time to look inward and become what you're destined to become, a clerk at the gas station.
I like because hey, if you're given $28 million, there's responsibility.
Right.
You have to live up to
That's
this money,
true.
dude. And you fail.
Where did this? In this movie though, I think the chance maybe where the money went was like the really nice cars. I think maybe that's where they put the money in because they did have, unlike Superfast, which was like a parody and then did not have what I thought was like $20 million worth of what I've seen. But this one, you would see some really nice cars. So maybe that's where the money. I'm sorry, what?
Who did that one review?
Someone from like Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb. I just find them online. No one I know personally. So yeah, this is just friends online who I've never met. I like this next review. It says, one of the worst movies of all time. I've seen it 5 times.
No. That's Armin White. He's a troll, I think.
It's Armin White.
Like he goes like, I hate Toy Story because it didn't make me cry and stuff. Like and then he'll say, I think this is the greatest Fast and Furious. Like he'll do shit like that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Like I think bad movies reviews are fun. This review is just weird. This is horrible. Full frontal nudity couldn't save this film. Not even naked people could save this. He's right. There is no nudity in this movie that I know of, based off of the version I saw. Also, it does feel like it would be out of place, although Natasha was so freaking hot. I think it maybe could save the movie. This movie review says, see this movie if you are looking to reevaluate your existence on Earth and realize that life isn't as bad as this movie.
Oh, that was that was a sweet way of letting you off.
Yeah, that's like a one lady, like, it's fine. You'll be okay.
Whoever wrote that was feeling nice that day.
Yeah. This is my favorite review that I found, which is, this is the kind of movie you do when you're late on child support payments.
Yes. And hey, I could feel that from the intro from the title screen I watched.
So like I should say, Andre, while we were setting up, did watch the first 3 minutes of Redline.
Yeah.
So first 3 minutes, man. What did you think about this movie?
They say in the book story that the first 10 pages of your script are the most important. It sets the tone. It sets setting. It sets
absolutely.
Genre. And I gotta say, the first 3 minutes, it's like, is this like predicting Uber Eats?
Right. Yeah.
Is this
absolutely?
And he's paid us to get it there in under an hour, but it's a 4-hour drive. Oh my god! And like the clock is going when he's throwing the Viagra knockoff.
Yeah. Well, I wrote down what they called it. Viagra.
Well, God will buckle my boots.
Or seatbelt, buckle my seatbelt and call me
buckle.
a passenger. I don't know. I had a thought based off of the first 3 minutes, which I think you can relate because this is the part of the movie you've seen. Jason, the driver, who was like kind of he was like the small time antagonist. He was like a troubled guy on the wrong side. He was
like him.
He was the brother of the love interest. You ended up liking him, but he also ends up dying. So
okay,
that's a bummer. It's pretty sad. You like him, and then car accidents. But anyway, he puts on that super cool sci-fi red monocle to help him race and get to the thing faster. I don't know if it was like a GPS on a monocle, but it looked cool. It looked futuristic. It looked, it was fitting the vibe of the opening scene. and you're thinking like, wow, that's a cool technology thing that's going to come into play. Maybe this is part of the universe where they have like futuristic car technology. Literally never comes up, and then that is he's the only guy that somehow has a red monocle.
I
And he
think
never brings it out.
they left
ever
it
again.
out that this was just for Niagara. This was just the
That you only use that when you're racing the Niagara to people.
when you're on Niagara delivering Niagara, you need this monocle, this CGI monocle.
That was the most serious business he had to do in that whole movie. Never mind the fact that later he had to do a race that his life depended on it, and he lost. I'll say this about this movie. When I started watching it, and I would say about 75% into it, I am making fun of it. I'm enjoying it, but I'm enjoying how bad it is. It's
There is
cheesy.
a tone.
There is terrible dialogue. Do you do like film directing and filmmaking and stuff like that? And
I went to
camera?
film school for like a second, yeah.
Okay, so you know things. I don't know things, but sometimes I watch these kind of movies and I'm like, I feel like this is done very poorly. I can't explain why. And so when you're watching movies like this, it's like it's like they took my cell phone and went out to.
It's not like it's also you can feel that the tone is not quite like we think we're all George Clooney in Ocean's 11. There's also a tone of check out this.
Right,
like, there's
absolutely.
also I can't believe the balls to show this next scene.
Yeah.
We're about to do it.
And it's like it wasn't that impressive. But that being said, I found myself getting brought into their world. There's a point in the movie, I'm going to spoil it because shame on you for not seeing the right
No,
one.
I don't care. I'm a grown man. I can handle
So
take all the
you can handle spoilers. You don't get
Yeah.
upset about them. But there's a point in the movie where suddenly the stakes just escalate so quickly and it gets so weird where like the main girl, she's Natasha, she's in a race, and at first they're betting a lot of money, but then the bad guy's like, actually, to the other guy, to Eddie Griffin's character, he's like, actually, if I win this race, I want you to give me Natasha. And at no point does anyone say something like human trafficking is not okay. Everyone's like, okay, because this is 2007 and this is a racing Fast and Furious type movie, so sexism and misogyny is totally fine.
Wait, isn't this underground? They're dealing Niagaras.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they're okay. So I guess you're right. In this world, trading people, maybe not. Shame on me.
It didn't come up in the movie yet.
Yeah, shame on me for not giving
their culture.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to step on the culture of underground
country.
It's in America. It's
well, I guess that's their culture.
But at some point, she loses the race. She gets drugged. Oh no, she's in a car accident. She doesn't get drugged. She does wake up, goes unconscious and wake up in this man's house, and then she's officially like a kidnapped prisoner. So we randomly just paused our episode and picked it back up again because our amazing co-host and other our person who usually is on this podcast finally made it back with her car intact. I think. I don't know. See,
no, the car is good, and now I broke my mic stand. So.
Right. So this has been a fun day for you.
It's been a horrible day.
You got a broken car, a broken mic stand, a broken heart.
I feel like I have bad gas right now.
This is emblematic. Yeah, this is the world showing you your inside.
That's what's happening. It's like
it's full of it.
Everything on the outside is what's happening on the inside.
You got to talk about Redline.
Yeah, she's like, how do I feel about Redline? My life is falling apart. That's how I feel.
My life is going to pieces.
So, CJ, how are we doing?
I mean, I'm good as compared to everything. I'm looking at. You guys can't see it, but I have something in my house that everybody in the school wrote how they feel about me, and I think it's the best thing ever. So when I'm feeling sad, I look at that, and there's one thing that always makes me feel really good. It's one person that says, "You're annoying, love you."
Oh.
The real person who knows me.
I love that. That's how that's the people in your life that really know you. Is
they do
feel comfortable saying you're annoying.
You're annoying. Go away.
When they mean it lovingly. I feel like once you know people well enough, you have no problem really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
I would have thought you wrote that.
Who, me?
Yeah, I thought you wrote your.
No, my handwriting is not that good.
To herself.
No.
Words of affirmation. CJ just puts in the middle. You're annoying.
No, you.
Final button on the end.
No, my handwriting is not that good. I'm trying. No, that's from all the teachers in the school.
Let's continue this riveting conversation on one of the greatest movies ever to exist in 2007. CJ, to catch you up, Andre watched the wrong red line. And in our break, we learned that there's actually, in fact, 3 red lines
three
out
red
there.
lines.
So
See, I didn't know that.
we are eventually going to give him some space to talk about the animated
The good
anime,
one,
the
yeah, baby.
Japanese red line that he watched.
Very snazzy today, by the way.
So yeah,
Why are you talking about your red line?
Yeah, this is what they forced me to wear at work.
yeah, it looks good. It's a good look. CJ, what did you think about red line?
I thought it was hokey.
100%.
That was hokey, and I was okay with that.
Yeah. Did it draw you in?
No, because that way you'll know my scene.
Oh,
So
okay. So,
ha. You're not gonna get me.
okay.
You're not gonna get me. No, it was cool though. It was cool though.
In the opening scene, that something was off, that something was wrong in the first 3 minutes.
That's all you've seen of the movie.
Yes and no. And I'm gonna tell you, I did not like the main guy.
The main guy, like the love interest, or okay, yeah, I didn't like him much either. Actually,
Did not like him.
what
Glad he's dead.
were there things? No, that's not the one that died. He survived.
The brother died.
Which brother grew on me.
Not
Like
tomato.
like I ended up liking. I mean, he was annoying at first, but like he was like redeemable annoying. And then they're like, nope, killing
I
him
just
for a blood
I
divide.
have 2 or 3 issues with the play. I'm gonna call it a play
Okay,
because it was very theatrical.
what were your issues with the movie? As long as it doesn't give away CJ's best bits, I don't want to take that away from you.
I didn't like the brother. He was so weird.
Mhm.
My issue is gonna give away a best bit. It's gonna give away a best.
We can talk about it after the best bit if you want to hold. If we
Yeah, I want to hold it.
Okay, we'll put a pin on that. This was funny to me. I don't know if this is funny to you all. It's not funny to you, Andre, but the villain was this terrible. He does. You didn't. This wasn't in the first 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, my
Uh,
video buffered.
So the villain was like this terrible human being doing these terrible things, and then at one point in the movie, you learn, he's like, "But I don't eat meat." Like he's like, "But I'm a vegan."
But I'm a vegan.
So my theory is it's unconfirmed by literally anything, but I think the reason he was so awful is because he was like malnutritioned, and if he had ate a steak, he maybe would have thought things like, I shouldn't gamble people, I shouldn't do all this illegal stuff. I think he just needed a good meal, and he really was just looking for someone to love him. But
You're
like,
not yourself.
yeah, I
when you
think
don't have a Snickers.
I was just thinking that.
he just needed a good meal and to feel loved and to feel the love of a good burger.
It was just too intent on the fact that all the races were either. I could never pinpoint where the races were. Okay, this is my thing. I can't pinpoint anything in this movie. And I watched it 3 times.
Oh wow, good for you. Also,
And I was just like,
I give each movie a shot. I did like the races. I think it reminded me of
What, you mean the people or the?
no, there's
or which was your favorite?
honestly the hot Asian women was my favorite of the races. But Eddie Griffin as the black guy was pretty funny. He to me he made the movie.
he was so corny in this.
This is not his zone.
I was literally writing every stupid thing he said down because it made me laugh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He was just when I say he was such comic relief, it was overtly that he was there for comic relief.
Yeah.
Like it was I don't know.
It was like, we won't write anything. He'll come.
We'll come up with something.
I didn't like how he was a pretty main character for a while and then really got shifted to the side towards the end. Because he was like, I thought he was one of the more captivating storylines.
You at least thought his and see.
And then he just kind of, and they was like, and then by the end, he was like, whatever.
I guess it was kind of one of those races.
Right. Leave it to the, I think it was a white director. Leave it to the white man to cut the black man out. But
Does Infamous not get Infamous? Does he get in a car? Does he get a cool thing?
well, he's a bookie. He doesn't do the racing.
Yeah.
car.
He's the one who discovered Natasha.
That he would be like, man, give me them keys.
So I was good.
Honestly thought, Drew, he was gonna do one, be like, give me them keys, and he was gonna get out there and try to do it on his own.
He was tired of all the
That
people
would have
losing.
maybe made the
Right?
movie.
That would, yes, and then he ends up being a better racer than everyone. I love it. I also,
That would have made the movie.
and then when he gets out of his car after he's won everything, the Asian girlfriend that he left in the middle of nowhere comes up and like shoots him with a sniper rifle, and he's dead. And that's the end of the movie.
Damn, that's the movie.
No,
No, that's just a.
that's just.
Watch this now.
I just made that was my
But it was just.
Redline 2, the sequel to all 3 Redlines.
Now there will be nudity.
Absolutely.
Sad part, there was nudity in this movie.
Was there really? Where-
Missed it.
Was it not full? Was it full backle nudity?
Boob.
Where?
When she woke up
Oh yeah, and she's just in the
in the bed.
in the bed of okay.
That would count on
I don't know it. Yeah, I would not count that as nudity, but I need to double check to make sure. Before
a
we
good bad
before we rate
movie.
this movie, Andre, tell us about the Asian red.
Well, this also you see, when China split, they made a new kingdom
Oh my
called
gosh.
Japan
Jesus
in the
Christ.
I believe 13.
Sir,
See,
the
I
movie.
don't know if he's describing a movie or just telling us.
So it's been, what is this, 2009? There hasn't been a movie like Redline 2009 since 2009. There is no other hand-drawn, animated, weird, R-rated, not for kids, but also not a romantic thing, anime movie since then. And it probably is the reason why, because it bombed and it killed this whole, like, we're going to try and take risks. We're going to try and show boobs. We're going to try and show cars. We're going to try and show alien stuff. And we're gonna mess with the voice actors. The first scene, someone does this, so the voice actor has to like mess with his mouth and whatnot to try to set the tone. This is not your usual movie. This is it's very weird. It's not something you have on the background. If you just show this random stuff, you can't watch this in public, and I have. And it's
Wait, whoa.
on my phone.
I love
Got
the
it.
idea that Andre's watching this movie, this version of Redline, in preparation for our podcast.
I'm saying it's
And he's like, "What are Drew and CJ doing?" You what?
The magic number. I watched it 3 times. I watched it as a kid. I watched the
Wow.
sub.
Well, there's different versions. There's the sub version, which the director's ideal because he was there helping with the voice actor. Which is just like, oh no, the dub of 2009 is not.
now,
It's better. And some versions you're not having because there's so much going on screen.
right?
To the brim. So any moment you spend actually reading, which I know, hey, I'm sorry if you're watching, you got to read sometimes, but every moment you have to. It's amazing to just view this as a dream nightmare. It wasn't based off anything. It was just like this guy was like, I want to go over the top and try to push the medium. And the best way to do that is to have a racing movie where the guy goes over the top and pushes his body. So like he puts it, like in Fast Furious, they do this thing like the nitrous. I don't know what nitrous is.
The noxid.
which they brought in this movie, and
Like the nitrous.
They have
Yeah,
a thing
nuts,
and
yeah.
you go in and you go in the car and
yeah,
you're going faster now somehow.
Because it goes.
Because you've
Yeah.
got the Super Mario mushroom and then you're
absolutely.
going.
That's exactly what it
It's
is.
not a real thing, but like Fast and Furious has made enough people think it's real.
Wait, it's not?
So, like that, like we learned this in our very first episode. Between the first and second episode, me and Bailey were really trying to understand and research NOS, and we finally just like asked people like through the comment section, "Can someone explain to us NOS?" And we had all these people be like, "That's not how it works."
To believe you.
Damn you, Drew. You just
I'm so sorry.
That's like you telling me broccolis aren't trees. Are you telling me I'm not eating baby trees?
I would never say that out loud to you.
Edit this part up.
Yeah, my feelings are hurt.
Yeah, sorry, NOS.
Really, Nas is just.
It no, because like the real I don't.
It's not stuff.
Yeah, it's
nerd stuff.
it doesn't work like that in cars. It's used in like dental hygiene.
I want you to stop talking to me right now, sir. Mr. Davis.
They were just good. They were just doing whatever.
Yeah, they were. That's fun.
I mean, I think it's like one of those. I don't know how lasers like.
So then why? So if it's laughing gas, so I guess you. What?
So I think what it is like the idea of NOS working like that is a thing that exists. Like they think maybe it, like someone somewhere was like, in theory, this could work. It doesn't really, but just that idea was enough that they were like, let's pretend like it does. Just like how lightsabers could never work, but in Star Wars they do.
No, they work.
They have now. They made new ones.
I'm pretty sure like if you start a beam of light, it just
There-
goes on forever.
There's a YouTube short where seen that military light one where you can cut through stuff, and it only goes so far.
Oh, I was just talking about a mosquito lamp. That's what I call a lightsaber.
Okay.
All sorts of lightsabers.
So let's
And then they have this nitrous thing in Redline that's like a jewel that he
he like has to press a thing and then push it down into the engine,
Yeah.
and it it's a bomb essentially.
Love it.
His eyes bleed, and his pompadour hair floats back, and the world bends and stuff. And it's
That's the movie we should have watched, CJ. That
race. He does an who's that guy? Dale Earnhardt.
Daryl Earnhardt.
Triple spin, crazy, and just ends up with like a cast on his foot.
I need you. Yeah, right. Okay, I'm watching
okay.
that.
It's
We're watching that.
yeah. No, that's a
Beast.
We're watching that.
We'll bring Andre back.
We'll bring
for
Andre
a
back.
podcast.
So then
for-
that way we
Yeah,
can he can lead that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Villain guy has a cute little doggy, so you don't feel that evil about him. Sort of
Aw.
like how he has like indigestion in this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Please.
All right, let's we're gonna rate the movie. Too Fast, Too Furious ranking. Too Fast is you loved it and made your life better. Fast is you enjoyed it. Furious is either you didn't like it like a lot or you cared nothing about it. And then Too Furious is like you really didn't like it. Your life is less than because of this movie. Andre, you're more than welcome to rate the 3 minutes you saw, or you can rate like the movie you actually saw because it sounds like that was a really
Any movie where they sing the name of the movie, Redline, is automatically a 5. Automatically.
automatically.
Then you work your way
Them's
down.
the rules. Yeah.
You work your way down. So Redline is a 5, and Redline is like maybe I'll finish it. It's a 3.
Okay, so
I'm sure
that's not a rating system though. I get what you're saying, but I want either Too Fast, Furious, or Too Furious. This is a Fast and Furious themed podcast where we don't review Fast and Furious anymore.
Furious?
Too Fast as you loved it. Too Furious
Oh
as you didn't.
shoot!
Too Furious as you hated it.
Fast.
Okay.
Because I like that title sequence where it goes on the bumper and then it goes bam on. No, it's on like the plate and it goes bam. More movies should do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Where it's like on the ground or in the food.
Based off of the 3 minutes that Andre saw of Redline, he's going to give it a Fast, and I think that's great. CJ, based off of seeing the movie 3 times, you saw the movie 1 time per minute Andre saw it.
Absolutely.
What rating would you give it?
Too Furious.
Oh, your life is less than because
Yes, it is.
right?
It is. I hated it.
I'm so sorry, but
You
good
had
for
to
you.
make
Good for you for to make sure that movie. You gave it so many chances.
I did.
It was like the terrible boyfriend that you keep giving. Finally, you're like, no,
I
this
was like, you know what? I
never
give
gonna
up.
change. Yeah,
It's not going to change. I cannot change him.
yeah, so that's okay. You know what? I'm gonna give it a Fast. Now, I didn't love it. I didn't think like, man, this is just I'm so glad I watched this movie. And for half of it, I was like, this is a really dumb movie, but like whatever, it's fun. And then I'll be honest, by the end, I was like, what's gonna happen? I'm kind of is this woman gonna die? We'll see. So
The pluses, Natalia,
oh,
Angus McFadden.
I was telling him earlier that I did meet my new wife with this movie. So she is so beautiful. So okay, well, cool. CJ, we're at that time again.
Yep.
Scores currently 5-4. Drew's leading. CJ's getting to pick the bits. Andre, the way this works is she's going to give us 3 scenes. She gets to pick the qualifying factor. She even gets to pick whether she tells it the qualifying factor to us. But we're going to try to pick her best scene, and she like we have different what constitutes best. Like last time I did like favorite quotes from a guy. One time we've done like
Yeah.
parts of the movie that we hated the most. You know, like there's like so. It's different every week, but she's going to basically give us 3 scenes. We're going to try to pick the scene that is her best. If you pick correctly, I get a point. If you pick incorrectly, she gets a point. Same for me.
So it's like 2 truths and a lie. She's going to show.
It's like, yeah, and then you just like you have to pick the lie, you actually have to pick the like scene that's her scene. So
I can do that.
Yeah. So, but if you could help me, I mean, currently in the lead. If you could not ruin, that would be so good.
Oh, I'll tell you which one's real.
All right. Well, these are the scenes that I actually did enjoy.
She only found 3 in the movie, and these are it.
Only 3, and these are the scenes. And let's see if you can guess the one that I enjoyed the most. I say the scene where they were singing and she was the brother was like looking at her and he's falling in love.
What a weird song.
What a weird.
It was just a bunch of sexual car puns.
Very, very.
Really singing? Was it her? You think?
I'm gonna say yes. She's a soap opera, so she would have to be almost a triple.
Yeah. All right. So
that's one scene. the scene where they're fighting in the very first fight scene when the brother comes home
Right.
and he's defending said young lady now singing.
He kept getting in fights. Yeah.
She was singing.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay. Yeah.
And my third one was when when what's his name? Eddie Griffin.
Did you see her trying to act like she was just forgetting this scene? I'm just saying that she's playing us, but I've been doing this for a year now with different people.
When Eddie Griffin actually found her in the garage and was trying to get her to be a driver.
Okay.
So which out of those three would be my favorite scene out of those?
I'll let our guest go first.
It's not the singing.
It's not the singing.
It's not. It's not. It's being convinced that you're the good driver. It's being convinced because also most people when they do this game pick the last one too.
Okay, I agree, and I'll tell you why I think that's her favorite scene. Don't lead it. Don't give us any hints yet in case we change our minds. But that scene was so close to the beginning of the movie, and it was like it started off like, oh, this plot might actually be interesting, and so like that scene itself was pretty good, and it like gave us hope. She said she didn't like the whole movie, but that scene that close to the beginning, it makes you think, oh, maybe this movie's gonna be something. So I'm gonna go with the Eddie Griffin scene as well.
You're right.
Yeah. Love it.
You're both right.
So we're at.
You said you didn't like Eddie Griffin in this too.
I did. That was the only thing I did.
Black and obnoxious.
Well, no, he was corny.
Yeah.
But my thing, and now I can tell you the thing that I considerably hated, and I don't know if anybody noticed. They never knew each other's names. They never caught each other's names.
He always had like weird names for her, like hey babe.
Yeah, hey babe. Like, did you end up in bed with this man? You don't know his name. He saved you without knowing your name. You ended up where he was happened to be at, like a Lifetime movie, without knowing his name. Then all of a sudden you're in the bed without. So they're still together. They don't know each other's name.
You don't need names when you're in love. You don't need names when you got
like, so it's like, am I crazy? So that's why I kept watching it over and over. I'm like, maybe I miss. Like, hey, what's your name?
I feel like that might have happened. It didn't. Well, you watched it. You've watched it more than me. You're the expert on this one.
When I tell you, he came and saved her, and then the next time she saw him, then.
So there was a scene where they did actually meet for the first time. No one said like, "Hey, my name's."
No. The first time they met, it was like I'm looking across the room. And then vibes.
Yeah. You don't need names when you got vibes.
Then when the guy tried to grab her, that's when he came in, leave her alone to protect her. Then that's when her boys came in. And then the next day she saw him at the event.
I like to think there's a deleted scene where at the end of the movie, when they drive off to the sunset in their really nice cars, they do a little race. They race to wherever they're at and they stop by and it's like maybe it's a motel or maybe it's a gas station. Maybe they fill up, and then he's like, oh yeah, what's your name?
That is all I want to happen.
No, it's animalistic. It's primal. It's Redline.
Love it.
That's all I want to happen.
It's the pace at which you'll be entertained. So strap and enjoy because it's all gas, no brake.
So as we close up, first of all, Andre, thank you so much for not only being our guest, but being our fill-in host for a moment.
Yeah,
we loved having you. We hope to have you again. Is there anything you'd like to plug in life or of yourself?
If you search Redline, the first thing that comes up
you know what?
is this awesome anime movie from 2009. But if you search Redline dub, in your hearts, you'll find it.
Okay.
It'll be there.
Love it.
Wink, wink.
It'll be there.
.mps MP4. No, I got this. I was going to plug that I was on this.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Physically, it's already.
You're here. Yeah, like yeah. You
may do a play.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to do a play.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Hey,
plays. I gotta be up here, and I can't say stuff that is real. I can't. I have to. No, I can't be like, oh, you fell down, dude. What's up with that? I can't.
You can.
No, dude, I'm Dracula. I can't. I have to be threatening.
Dude, I love that.
No, I can't. They're not gonna let me be Dracula. They're gonna let me be a bishop that's naughty.
A
Oh,
naughty bishop.
a
That sounds like a
naughty
more
bishop.
fun role than Dracula, honestly. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We're going to get you back because you are a movie guy, and we'll be talking about movies. So you're like,
Definitely.
so next week, I said this at the beginning, we are actually doing a special. Not that this movie needed a part 2, but we do have a special edition bonus episode, and so we're going to do a Redline part 2. So if you're watching this, especially if this is in the future, and you see that there's 2 parts to Redline, check it out. You won't be disappointed. It's very cool. And then, as always, find us on social media. Whatever you're listening to, watching this right now, go ahead and do a like, subscribe, comment, thumbs up.
Let us know.
Give us a rating, preferably a 5-star rating. That helps more people see what we do. So we need that right now. Most important, like, go watch a dumb movie. Go watch a good movie.
I love dumb movies.
Go watch a sad movie if you want to feel something. Go do something fun this week. Go enjoy yourselves. Take a break. You've worked. You earned it. Hang out with a friend. Call someone. Just do whatever you want. That's a good thing. Live your life a quarter mile at a time and have a great week.
Live it.